this is Maggie, and welcome to another YouTube video. I'm sorry if I sound kinda low energy, I'm a little sleepy, but regardless, we do need a new video this week, and you guys were sure to let me know what you want, so we're gonna do a sketchbook tour. As you guys know, if you've watched my last video, I finished number 39 like a week or two ago, and I was decorating my new sketchbook, which looks like this now. I know, a little different, but we ball. So now that that's done, we can start touring the new sketchbook. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So this sketchbook was kind of a new thing to me because this sketchbook was gifted to me by RTX at the end of last year, and they were super sweet. They were like, hey, we know you really like to do sketchbook videos, and we have these sketchbooks that, you know, we're giving out to people, and, you know, maybe we could give you one and you could like decorate it and fill it in. So I took them up on their offer, and they sent me this massive sketchbook. Like you saw with my last one, these are the ones I usually buy. They are clearly smaller, which was something I did have to get used to with this sketchbook, was that this one was a lot bigger than what I was used to working with, but it was really fun and I got used to it really quickly. So obviously there's a lot of stickers to go through. I'm gonna put some credits on screen for the ones that were from artists, and if you see a sticker without any credit, that's because it wasn't an artist sticker. Also, you can see that I put in my tag for the Dana plushie, which came around the time I got the sketchbook, so Pog, very cool. There's not a lot on the back. We do have the RTX logo here, and I decorated this sketchbook in another video. I put some washi tape. Something new I also did for this sketchbook was that this sketchbook doesn't have an elastic, and if you know how big my sketchbooks get, then I like them to have an elastic, otherwise things are gonna fall off really easily. So I actually put in an elastic myself. It was surprisingly easy. I'm probably gonna make a video eventually about how to do that, how to add on little gimmicks like this to your sketchbook, like a pocket or an elastic, because they are really easy to do. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of tape here. This sketchbook is a glue-bound sketchbook. What does that mean? Usually my sketchbooks, I pick them where the pages are stitched together by needle and thread. This makes them very sturdy, and it becomes harder for the pages to fall off the sketchbook. This sketchbook, thankfully, the pages didn't fall off, but it was really fragile compared to the other ones that I use. But you know, opening page, I started this on the 29th of December 2025, and I finished it on the 30th of March 2026. You also saw me decorate this sketchbook on a video, so a lot of stickers that I told you about, a little warning for my sketchbook. Don't worry, all of these are going to be censored. There's nothing to worry about. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So obviously, the first casualty was the first page. You can see that it completely tore off. It happens, I guess. But this was my introduction page. This is how I did a little doodle of my Sona, and I wrote some things about me, pronouns, my age, stuff I like, stuff I don't like, my social medias, and I want to start doing sketchbook goals, because I do find out that I get really sucked into the things that I like, and then I quite never get out of there. So with this sketchbook, my goals were to use more materials like oil pastels or paint, do more fan art for fandoms that I like, and do more still lifes. We will see if I actually achieved all of these. This is a proper first page. Obviously, I did want to start kind of strong. This was a scrapped introduction. Before I made this one, I had made this one. And I decided, since I painted her little poncho pink, I was going to glue her into a pink page. There's a bunch of like pink foods in the background, like crepes and little cakes and everything. And I wrote down a little thing saying, new sketchbook. I'm so excited for this one. Want to try new things with this one, like drawing food and fan art of characters I really like. More fan art, more materials, more still lifes. Just kind of a TLDR of the other stuff. I'm gonna probably put something here while this doesn't stick together. Good enough. As you read before, I had started this sketchbook around the end of the year, so one of the first things that I did with it was take it to a New Year's party. I went with some of my friends and my brother, so a lot of these are kind of just stupid shit we were saying while we were, having our little party, watching movies and playing games, and it was just so silly. It was such like an easy way to start the sketchbook, just with good memories. This is a lot stronger. Oh my god. Again, I mentioned that one of the things I wanted to do more of was just regular fan art of things that I like. And I was still thinking about Silent Hill 2 because the remake had come out. Was it in 2024 or 2025? I think it was 2024. And I loved it. I loved it to death. It was so good. So I decided to draw some of the characters like Angela, Eddie, and Laura. I drew a little pyramid head here. I printed some stuff out as well. Did a bunch of collaging, and I had this red envelope from Christmas, so I decided to cut out a piece of paper and write down the letter from Mary that we get at the beginning of the game. I thought was a really cute interactive thing to do, so now it kind of just lives here. It's so nice. Another goal of mine was to try out new art materials, and I had found my old crayons from when I was like a toddler, and I had been just going ham with them. They're so silly, so I just drew a bunch of like stars and little shapes, and then I found this picture of like a beetle drawn with chalk on the sidewalk. It was on Pinterest, but like I'm gonna try to find it and put it here, and I wanted to redo that but with crayons, and I think it was really cute. I did the line art with these metallic gel pens that I had, and then the highlights were with a acrylic white marker, so everything looks so cute, and all these swirls and spaces in between were done with like those pencils that have a tip with a bunch of different colors, so it just looked so pretty. It's such a nice pop of color. And hey, little tank in glittery gel pens, you're gonna see a lot more of them because I still really like him. A more simple page, I wanted to do some OCs because I was feeling like it. You have Steve and Gary, but this one's special. Me and Doc, the person who owns Steve, she came up with this heyoo where like Steve has a little Muppet of himself because he likes Muppets, and when he goes to sleep he can like astral project to the Muppet, so sometimes Gary has to put up with him when he's a Muppet, and it's so silly. They just get into silly shit. They're so stupid. I love them. Some tank and dark side. They're also from my friend Numa. I draw them so much. They're so silly. Bro has the adoption papers ready because look, those are his kiddos. That's his baby. He's such a good boy. This was a little memery draw with Tank and Gary as well. Tank and Gary but humans. A lot of people were like, oh my god, did Gary and Steve break up? Who's the other guy? And I had to explain the concept of multi-shipping to them. Listen, I have been strong in the Gary and Steve propaganda, but Gary has two hands, plus Numa and Doc kind of ship Schmuck and Tank as well, so everyone has two hands. They can all hold hands together, and yeah. This was a bit of a trash page because I had a lot of stray papers I wanted to get rid of. I think the background of this is like the pamphlet for one of my medications. It was stupid, but it's a nice way to get like a little bit of texture going in your spread. There's a lot of post-it notes and random little stickers. These two doodles, I really like them a lot. I think I could have worked it better, but I think I like the concept. I like how it looks right now. It's Tank looking up at Gary, but they're upside down. And I think these lyrics are from Meteor Shower by Cave Town. I love Cave Town. Cave Town has really good music. More doodles of the OCs. I saw this meme online that was like, oh, the whole joke of like rolling to seduce a giant monster in D&D, and Gary turns into a giant monster, so I think he's allowed to roll to seduce. Did it work? Yeah, it probably did. The most beautiful brown eyes you'll ever see versus people with blue eyes. And then I drew this one that I really like. I'm sure we had like pizza for dinner that day, so I was like, oh, they should have pizza with color matching sweaters. So I drew them all sitting on the couch together and eating some pizza. They're chatting probably. This was a whole page just with Ferrero Rocher stuff. These are some of my favorite chocolates ever, and I only get to have them around Christmas. So I just had a whole bunch of plastics and papers with them. So I just glued them down together as an excuse to just, you know, use them up because I didn't want to throw them to the trash. With these doodles, I was trying out the alcohol markers that RTX had sent me. They sent me their 90 pack, and they are so silly. They have some really nice colors there. So I decided to draw some Pokemon. So I drew a shiny Maractus and Lunantish, it's something like that. It's close to that. These were some of my 2 favorite Pokemons at the time. I was just really obsessed with them for some reason. They are like super cute. Look at them. And then here to the side, I kind of just kept the color scheme going because Telly's colors are also very like pink and green. So I drew Big Telly, which is like the grown-up version of Telly. Tank, that's her dad. He's a little worried about her, but it's okay. They'll be fine, I promise. So you can guess what came in the mail. I hate this plushie. I miss my 40 bucks, but also I wouldn't trade him for the world. He's so ugly. I hate him. Yeah, this came in the mail and I immediately missed my 40 bucks because I was realizing I should have saved my 40 bucks. But alas, Tana plushie. We have the Tana plushie. I'd also gotten these like really cute Apple post-it notes and I thought they were perfect for this spread, so I used them. These were doodle requests by some of my friends. This was a Scolipede because they're also my favorite Pokemon. They are so silly. And I think this is... Hold on. I know Maggie requested this one. This is the henchman from the Cuphead series. Yeah, it's the henchman. They really like Cuphead. And so I drew a little guy for them. This also got really popular on Instagram. I don't know why. This is like a very small, silly bug sign that I did. I found out on Pinterest how you can make little tiny signs from like a single piece of paper, like in an origami kind of way. So I made this one and now it just lives here inside my sketchbook. Back to drawing still lifes because I needed to do that. I got some of my favorite snacks, which is like the 3D bugles from Lay's. I love this shit. I will eat this shit up. They're kind of expensive though, so I need to wait until they are on discount. And I drew some of my favorite snacks. I am a foodie girl. I love food. I have a very sweet tooth, you know, but I drew some of my favorite foods like ever. This is a little Sloppy Joes. One of my friends from America told me how to do this and it was the easiest shit ever and I love them. They're so good. This is a hot honey pepperoni pizza. I don't remember who made these. Domino's. I think it was Domino's. There's some pasta down here. When I make it myself, I like to like make these really heavy pasta dishes with like sausages and ham and spinach and sweet corn. I love to do them. They're super easy to make. And I actually have one of these right now. Hold on. These are little cocktail drinks that I like to have. They are like, again, little cocktails in a bottle and they are so pretty and they are so tasty. They are alcoholic, so if you're a minor, don't have them. Please, thank you. Drink responsibly. And yeah, I just wanted to draw some of my favorite foods together. I think I did this with like color pencils, maybe some watercolor beneath them, but I don't really think I did. So yeah, moving on. More little fan arts of characters that I like. I think I made these during a stream actually. I wanted to work some mixed media. These were all done with regular markers and then they were colored in with my crayons again. This is Hedora. It's a character from the Godzilla universe. It's like this giant smog trash monster and I love it. There's a baby metal Sonic and an Enderman looking at a pizza because I was still really into Minecraft back then. And then just to fill in some empty space, I drew Gary and Censor, another character from a friend of mine. They are very queer. Gary's a bit of a whore. He just sleeps around. No, it's called shipping my OC with my friend's OCs because we ball. More Tank and Gary, mostly Tank because look at him. He's just a big baby. He deserves a bunch of plushies. He's just a baby. And then I had instant noodles for dinner that day, so I drew the instant noodles. They were very good. I had a bunch of like really thick paper around that time for some reason. I don't remember where I got it, but I wanted to use it up. So I doodled this on a different piece of paper. I think it was like ballpoint pens and then some watercolor and acrylic markers. So I drew all of this, I cut it out. The background of the page I painted with alcohol markers and I glued in some of the packaging from the noodles. And yeah, it just looks really silly. This was kind of a trash page because during this time I was really busy doing the finish a sketchbook in a week challenge. So I was really focused on that and I wasn't drawing on my sketchbook a lot, but I did do it. There's a video up on my channel. I'm gonna put it in the card if I remember to do it. But yeah. This was when I got my first set of oil pastels. With me finding out that I really like to work with crayons, I kind of thought, you know, oil pastels are like the grown-up version of crayons. So I got myself just the smallest, cheapest pack they had. It was like 12 colors for like $8. I also had like a little discount, but whatever. And I just swatched them and I drew a little with them and I really like them. They are not exactly like crayons. They leave a lot more residue and you gotta be careful about it, but I really like to play with them. They were so colorful and fun to blend. I should do this more often. More trash stuff. I was working with the leftover trash from the fill a sketchbook in a week video. Some stuff I had to put around my room. Here's some math because me and a friend of mine were going to a convention that was out of state. So we were kind of doing math for like the Flixbus, where we were going to stay and so on. And here's a little Gary. What is he doing? I don't know. Why is there a sticky note? I also don't know. We're moving on. Some more trash that I had to get rid of. There was this really nice heavy piece of craft paper that was like really brown, so I was like, I'm gonna draw my bendy characters because they are so silly, and I drew them. This is Daisy and Mr. Flex. I love them so much. I need to start drawing my bendy guys again. There's not much of a fandom anymore, but that's no reason I should draw them still. And then there's just a little beast here in a napkin and a bunch more trash. A lot more trash. Trash I found on bags and pockets of stuff I want to put up for sale. Oh, this was when I did my closet clean out video. From all the bags and all the clothes that I took out to sell, I had to, you know, clean them up and take out whatever was in their pockets. And this was what was in their pockets. A lot of like little boxes for eye drops and cards for restaurants and tattoo shops and so on and so forth. This was something that took me like 3 days to make. I wanted to draw a bunch of my friends overseas. I'm gonna leave their ads on screen because there's a lot of them. And I wanted to draw them around this giant sushi table to look like they were having like a hangout dinner and they were talking shit about somebody. Gary is super heated for some reason and it looks so silly. This took forever to make, but it was so much fun. I had such a blast looking up all the pictures of like sushi and gyozas and little Japanese food and drinks to draw here. It was just so much fun. I did get like a massive wish for sushi that I never fulfilled and I'm kind of pissed about it. This was when I got another acrylic marker set from RTX, and you can see this sketchbook is struggling to stay together. I don't think I need this here anymore. There we go. As you can see, this sketchbook is struggling to stay together, but alas, we ball. I drew Steve and Gary again. They're so silly. They're reading a book, evil book. If you know what that book is, no, you don't. We're moving on. This was after a hangout with friends. I had glued down this page of like striped paper and then I had a bunch of doodles that I wanted to cut out and glue in, and then they were kind of giving me a bunch of stuff that we had that day. Like one of my friends gave me a washi tape, another one gave me a stamp. This was a little Subway sticker that I had from some meal. This was a little bubble tea that I had when we were doing the hangout. Just lots of little doodles of Tank hanging out with his kiddos because he's such a dad. I love him. He's so silly. Really empty page. I remember this was a comic that I was gonna do and I started doodling it while I was on the train, but my pen ran out of ink as I was drawing it, so I kind of gave up on the idea. Then I had a lot of trash that I just needed to get rid of, so a lot of like sweet corn packaging stuff, a lot of stuff from Subway as well, and these Gudetama stickers that I got from a friend. This was when me and a few of my friends went to see the Return to Silent Hill movie in theaters. We wasted money to go see this in theaters. If you know, you know. It was a disaster inside that movie theater. I think a little piece of me died and is still there to this day. I wrote down some of the reviews from the movie that I saw once I got on Letterboxd. I want to silent kill myself. Bro, that ain't James, that's John. on. And my favorite, the hill was silent, but that wig was so loud. Like, it was tragic. It really, really was. They did have some like really cool, interesting visuals and cinematography. It's just they butchered the story, the characters, and like as pretty as the visuals were, it did not save it like at all. Oh my god. It was really rough there. A bit of another trash page. I got the Sour Patch Kids when I went to see the Sunhill movie, so I glued them down. Some cereal bars as well. And I got this really, really pretty washi tape from a convention, and I just had to glue it down here along with some freebies and stickers. And then grown-up Telly and Becky, if they ever got to grow up together. Oh my god, they would be so silly. I think Telly would absolutely be like the hippie, carefree sister, while Becky would be the one that's a little more in line. But I think they would have a really cool dynamic. I love how these designs turned out. They're so cute. Another trash page because we were kind of running around all over the place. We went to a convention. This was the said convention that we had to go out of state for. So we kind of we were, you know, eating whatever we had. So we were kind of running around trying to find food to eat. We had Domino's, we had Subway, and to try to like fill up space, I tried to glue down a bunch of trash that we got during the trip. A lot of doodles just from random OCs. I drew a lot of Sol for some reason. It was just Sol season. You know, sometimes we draw an OC that is, but oh my god, I'm sorry, I just noticed that. But yeah, a bunch of Sol, we're moving on. This was some trash I got from the convention. Some trash, that's kind of mean. A bunch of like artist cards and receipts from where we went out to have dinner. Just a bunch of really nice stuff. More Tank, but he's adopting all the Deltarune kiddos that I have, and he's super normal about it. I was still really, really tired from the trip, so page is kind of empty. You will need to excuse me for it. This was a day where I was cleaning out my room. I wanted to throw away some old notebooks that weren't being used. So I was ripping out some of the pages that I wanted to keep, either for scrapbooking or because they had doodles on them. And I found just a bunch of like stray doodles that I didn't want to get rid of. So I just cut them all out and I glued them here. So they live here now. These were the script notes for the Krita video. A lot of stuff about the intro, the getting started, illustration and stuff like that. The video didn't do too well, but I'm happy I did it. Krita is where I draw everything and animate everything that I make, so it was nice to just make a video about it. Okay, we're back. We're so back. I think I did this during a stream. I'm not sure. We had these noodle packs that had like a Dragon Ball collaboration going on. So they all had these like wraparound stickers of the characters. You had Piccolo and Frieza, and they were actually some of my favorite characters. So I bought the noodles. Of course I did. I kind of built a whole color scheme around them. And then I wanted to draw a golden Frieza because bro looks so cool. Purple and golden. I mean, that's so cool. This is a little reference to a joke, and if you get it, I'm proud of you. If you don't get it, then that's okay. Another trash page. I wanted to get rid of some little cards and post-it notes, so I doodled my little lesbian clowns trying to make rent. These were like really silly characters that I had made on a whim, and people liked them a lot, at least back in the day. So I doodled them once again. They are really, really silly. I love them. Another kind of empty page. These ones I'm sure I did during stream. These were like, I was trying to draw in the style of Littlest Pet Shop, but like not draw them as animals, just try to get the proportions and some of the stylization points into these guys. I think I kinda did it. It's hard to tell because it's a hard art style to translate if you're not working with animals. But I think these still look so silly. You have a little Telly, Gary, Schmuck, Tank. There was gonna be a censor, but I never finished it, and I'm really pissed about it now. Eventually. I'll finish it eventually. Then just a little doodle of Absalom. He is viewing some relationship through his portals, and he is having a little crash out. This was me planning the Eat-a-Bag video. You guys can see how long it took me to finish the sketchbook. I'm mentioning a lot of videos. So I just made some very simple doodles for like how I wanted the Eat-a-Bag to look, the plans and everything. This is a reference to a very specific clip from, I don't think it's WWE, it's like some fighting thing. I don't think I can put it in the video because I'm gonna get copyrighted to all hell, but if you know, you know. It's so silly. Then I love this comic. I just wished I had colored it better. Beetle Steve, he's back. And I wanted to do a little comic because I hadn't done comics in a very long time, but I love doing comics. I don't know why I don't do them more often. And Gary found a little spider and he was going to show it to Beetle Steve, but Steve is going to eat it and Gary's going through something. Super empty page, but we try to save it. This was me storyboarding a magical girl transformation sequence that I would really love to animate with Becky someday. I made storyboards of it, so you know that's a good first step. And we're back to business. This is Lady Ovni. I've yet to introduce her here, but she is like the goofy anime cartoon villain to Telly and Becky. She is this evil alien lady who wants to take over Lunaland, which is where Telly and Becky live. And of course, since she's like a goofy boss, Rules wants to be like her right-hand man. And I need to learn how to draw this guy because, oh my god. But she's so silly, and I love her color scheme, and I had to draw her. I did this page for a video. I'm really getting into Poppy Playtime specifically because of this guy's design. I know a lot of people were like expecting some evil skeleton robot guy, and I'm like, I get you. I see the vision, but also I really love this design. Bro is Gary shaped and no one will ever be able to tell me otherwise. Again, I did this spread in a video. Not a lot to say about it here, but you're gonna see more of him, trust me. Some kind of empty page, just some doodles and stray stickers because I went to another convention. I was expecting to actually waste a lot of money here. I didn't. I was surprised. But yeah, it was mostly just a hangout with friends. I also did this page on stream. We had Steve and Gary, and they feel so bonita in the strawberry dress. Yeah, you guys remember the strawberry dress? Oh my god. I just wanted to draw something silly and to kind of practice blending acrylic markers. I think it turned out fine. It could have been better, but it also could have been worse. This had so much potential and I actually kind of ruined it. I'm a little pissed about it. So, I like to joke that my Deltarune heyoo is actually just FNAF in disguise. I can't remember the exact reasons why. I'm gonna put them here because I know there's a screenshot of it floating around somewhere out there. But the reasons, said reasons, and I got really into actually making this a thing. So I know Gary would be William Afton. Obviously, Ben would be Michael Afton. And I just had to draw Gary like all dressed in purple with like the little springlock scars on him with a spring bunny thing. And then I had a whole thing going on with collaging this page. My brother broke one of his headphones, so he gave me like the wires for it, and this was gonna look so good and I just had to lock in and I didn't, and I'm actually kind of pissed about it. Regardless, it's here. This was a day where I went to the local aquarium. I love going to the aquarium. It's one of my favorite places to go ever. I love going to the aquarium, but it's kind of expensive, so I can only go there like once a year or something. And I love it. I drew some fishies. I drew a lot of manta rays because they had a bunch of manta rays there. They had sharks, they had sunfish. There was just a bunch of stuff. This was also from another hangout that I was having. A lot of people gave me a lot of things to glue down. I still had some leftover trash, like a little Coke bottle and the ticket receipt for the aquarium. I drew a bunch of dark eyes that day. I'm not sure why. He just looks silly. I like him. This is a little piece of spaghetti that was in our package for some reason. I did some pasta when I got home for my dinner, and I noticed there was this one pasta that was like bent in a U shape, and I thought that was really funny. So I tried to preserve it in my sketchbook as best as I could. A lot more. Someone who was at the hangout drew this for me and they were like, please draw over it. But I love it! So I kept it here. This was video notes for the How I Make My OCs video, where I was making Samsings and explaining my whole process through making character designs. So I just noted everything down here. Oh, more Gary and Tank because they are so silly. I have a bunch of markers that I need to get through, so I kind of just used them all up here. Also, I had this label for a black vodka bottle that I managed to peel off without completely ruining. So I put it on my sketchbook and I was like, well, they can be a little tipsy, you know, as a treat. And when they get tipsy, they get frisky and you can look at it, but we're gonna move on. I was kind of struggling here because I needed to get, again, a lot of trash into my pages because, again, I tend to kind of hoard stuff a little bit, like, oh, it's for the sketchbook. And then my room gets kind of messy, so I need to sometimes just use a bunch of it all at once. So we have Big Tally here in all her glory, and I glued down a bunch of stuff that I got, especially for my friends. Exact same thing here, but with a bang. He's also a little grown-up here. He's really cute and shitty. This was when episode 8, The Amazing Digital Circus, came out. I didn't really like this series. I have my own reasons, but since a lot of people in my server do like it and my streams do tend to kind of overlap with the time at which episodes come out, we just watch it on stream. And it's been slowly building to me like, hey, a lot of the issues that I had with it are kind of getting fixed. And specifically for that episode, I started really enjoying Kane because, again, a lot of the issues that I had with him were getting solved and worked on, and he was getting really interesting. And then he died. It's always a joke that my favorite characters die, but you know, it happens. So I doodled him a little bit because he's really silly to draw, and I love drawing teeth, so it was a nice excuse. I had this vision that I wanted to do a spread with Tank, but completely cover it with fruit stickers. I wish I could have done better, but now that I look back on it, you know, I really like how this looks. It's just so silly, and I think in the future maybe I will be able to do a better version of this because it's so silly. I love how it looks. Almost at the end. I did some Instagram doodle requests because I was trying to power through the last few pages of this sketchbook. Had a bunch of Tenna and Telly, some Gary, some Ragatha, Puppet, Gary as a little mouse. He's so silly. I also did this during stream. Again, I was kind of trying to draw Kane because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to draw him because I know he has like very unique character expressions, like the top row of his jaw thingy kind of works like his eyebrows, so he can actually be really expressive. And I think that is like, it's a really smart character design thing. It's super goofy. And I was trying to get it done here, but I think I got kind of lost stylizing him. So to kind of stop that, I just jumped into the prototype again. I did this whole thing during a stream. It was really fun. I had a blast rendering this. It was so much fun, and he looked so pretty. Oh my god. I need to draw him more often. He's so much fun to draw. Again, we're powering through the last few pages. I wanted to draw my Sona and my friend's Sonas. Again, the besties. I love them. Me fresh from being adopted by a lesbian couple in the Sonic fandom, moving to the Deltarune fandom. A baby! For the record, they are not a couple. It was just like really funny. I just doodled our Sonas kind of doing silly stuff. This time, I wanted to do something different. I had always been drawing myself like my Sona. I never really draw myself. So I tried to do that. I really wanted to try out a new art style, so I kind of just went for it, and I think this is what I look like. I think it looks really funny. It was a really funny way to find out how to stylize myself to a certain degree without, you know, jumping straight into the Sona. It was lots of fun. I liked it a lot. We're almost at the end, final stretch. More Instagram doodles. Kinger. This is Sweater, one of my characters. This is a Pokemon. I forgot the name, I'm sorry. Some Papyrus and Muffet. They are my favorite Undertale characters. A Telly Cookie. And, of course, some Gary. And that is the last page. Of course, at the end of the sketchbook, we do the sketchbook stats. Started this the 29th of December 2025 and finished it on the 30th of March 2026. My favorite OC was Gary. My favorite friends OC was still Tank. My favorite fandom is still Deltarune. God, get me out of here. Maybe with Poppy Playtime, I will finally be able to leave it, please. And some notes. Slowly getting into Poppy Playtime and in denial about enjoying the amazing digital circus. OC still in the brain. I reached 7k followers on YouTube and I have new friends. And okay, bye. And that is everything. That's everything. So I think, you know, since I didn't really fill it once I left the sketchbook, I think we could go back. Oh my god. Oh shit. And we could, you know, to the best of our abilities, try to fill in the sketchbook goals to see if we actually did what we set out to do. So use more materials such as oil pastels and paint. I didn't use paint, but I did definitely use more art materials, especially, again, oil pastels, some crayons, so I think that's a check. Do more fan art for fandoms that I like. Absolutely, I got into a lot of new things in this sketchbook, so I think that's a plus. And do more still lifes. I think they kind of slowed down as I went further with my sketchbook, but I still think I finished it because I did a few of them and I had fun with them and I actually tried. So I think that's it. We did pretty solid. And that is the whole sketchbook tour. It's gotten like really dark outside. I hope the video still looks decent. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Again, I already started my new sketchbook. It's here, it's queer, it looks different from when I finished the video. We had some little issues. I can give you a little flip through if needed be. First, I painted the sides of the sketchbook, which I think is really fun. Some doodles. Just a very quick flip through. Here, I don't want to kind of give you too much because we're going to get into it once I finish this sketchbook so we can do a whole new sketchbook tour. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah, YouTube words. If you would like to see more of my art, both past and future, these are the social medias where I'm on right now, but I will leave my card in the description so you can see every social media where I'm at under the sun. If you would like to see a little more about my characters or projects that I do, like heyyoos and stuff, you can visit my website. That's where I archive everything. I really love to code and make my characters and my stories cute little pages. I am finally working on the Talia website. What's up with her whole lore, where she came from. So if you like Deltarune stuff mostly, then I really think you're gonna like what I have there. So yeah, link in the description if you want to go see it. And if you would like to have sneak peeks at upcoming videos, be parts of streams, you can join our Discord server. Again, we stream every Friday and Saturday, and we just have a lot of fun. Again, I mentioned a lot of the pages that I did here were made during stream, so you can watch me draw in real time, you can ask me questions, you can hang out with other people. The server is going through its amazing digital circus era because a lot of people in there are huge fans of the series, and they're trying to get me into the series as well. And I've just been really silly about it. It's really fun. Link in the description if you wanna, join it. And that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!